Alright, let's do this one more time. I'm Baylor Nelson, head of Base Movie TV and Skits channel, and today, it took me a while. I think it was released for I think it was out for 2 weeks, but I finally saw it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh my god, I was so hyped for this movie. I think about 5 days before I saw it, I watched this movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Shout out to my friend Sam. I recently bought this Blu-ray 3 days ago, and up until then I never owned this. It was not on any of the streaming services I had, and on top of that, if I got one at the library, the disc would scratch and the entire movie would skip. It actually skipped the scene where Uncle Aaron died. But now I own it, and after seeing Across the Spider-Verse, I want to watch and dissect this movie even more. First up, before we start the review on Across the Spider-Verse, I'd like to say that this is a great film, and of course it is, since I saw the sequel in theaters. The movie before it had to be promising, and yes, this is a 10 out of 10, fantastic movie. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and I cannot tell you how happy I am that it won Best Animated Feature over Ralph Breaks the Internet, because that movie did not deserve it at all, but this one did. So I'm excited to get into this review. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm really glad I'm back into movie reviews. I feel like 2023 has been a great year for movies. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was so good that I figured, why not? I'll come out of review retirement. For the first time in a year, I made my return to making movie reviews, and now I'm going to keep up with that trend and review Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So, I saw it at Imagine Theaters in Waconia, and naturally I got my favorite drink that I can only really get there because it's on this technological soda machine, Peach Fanta. If you guys want to get a glimpse of it, here it is right here. Yes, Peach Fanta is basically a flavor you'll get when you click on Fanta, and it's got grape and lime and all that stuff. But what you really want to get is the peach flavor, because that is just the best. I tried it for the first time when I got out of seeing Air, and I love it now. So enough with the jibber jabber. Let's get into the review. Alright, just gotta readjust myself. Now let's do it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh my god, I've been with the rollout for this movie for such a long time. I remember when I got the trailer for this 3 years ago, and I remember thinking there was a time where we got Lyle Crocodile instead of this movie. The release date kept getting kept getting pushed back. Sorry, my stuttering. I have an issue. It's really serious. But it kept getting pushed back, and I was like, is this ever going to release? And it finally did. And it took me a while, but I eventually saw it in theaters, and it was fantastic. It was so good, to the point where I don't even know which one is better. Is it Across the Spider-Verse or is it Into the Spider-Verse? Well, I gotta say I don't have an answer. Right now, they're neck and neck. I feel like they're equally as good. And I feel like they're both kind of different movies too, so it's tough to judge. But Across the Spider-Verse is fantastic. There are so many great new characters in this. Spider-Punk, aka Hobie, Hobie, sorry, I got that wrong. Was just such a phenomenal character. Daniel Kaluuya did a great job, and I loved his accent. Or I guess it's not an accent, because he actually is British in real life. His design was fantastic, and I loved how everyone acknowledged how cool he was. And then you also got Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. I remember seeing the post-credit scene for Into the Spider-Verse, and I was so confused. But I'm glad they brought him back for this movie, and he was fantastic. The design alone made me so interested in his character and made me like him even more. Now, he isn't the greatest guy. He, attacks Miles because he doesn't want to ruin a canon event. So I guess that kind of makes sense, but it goes a little off the rails. There's a scene where literally every single spider person chases him, and it's just absolutely chaotic. I was just at the edge of my seat, and it actually took 4 years to animate, which makes sense, because that scene, oh my god, that scene was incredible. Both when it comes to animation and just the scene in general. There were so many great fight moments. Everything was great. And I also thought it was really sad hearing Miles figure out that Peter B. Parker and Gwen, they knew that he wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man, but they never told him, and it was just really sad. But Peter B. Parker's back too, and if you guys know me well enough, if you saw my Instagram page, my new profile picture is this guy right here, Peter B. Parker. Listen, I love Miles, I love Gwen, but I love Peter B. Parker the most. He is just like a normal guy, but he also happens to be Spider-Man. He is great. He's like one of my favorite characters in any Spider-Man movie. I really, really like Peter B. Parker. And Jake Johnson does just such an incredible job playing him. And yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man out of all these movies. And I think Across the Spider-Verse probably should have changed my mind, but he was great in that too for the little screen time he had. I was a little bit disappointed. I felt like he could have had a little bit more screen time, but he was still really good in it, and I do think it was cool seeing him and Miles again, and hopefully they get more time together in Beyond the Spider-Verse. And then you got Gwen, who, in my opinion, I think she was the main character of this movie. Like, Miles had a lot of screen time, and a lot of the movie was dedicated to him, like, wanting to tell his parents if he was Spider-Man, or wanting to tell his parents that he was Spider-Man, but he just can't do it. Like, and I like the chemistry between him as Spider-Man and his dad. I just like seeing these characters again and like seeing what they're up to. It's really cool. And those little things like the why don't you get off the kid's ass, like it's so much fun to watch, and I really like it. And then there was also Spider-Gwen, who man, I was so surprised by the first like 10 minutes of this movie. I feel like the runtime is very apparent if you go to see this, because like I was so happy when I saw the runtime for this movie. Like, you know me, the longer the movie, usually the better. And with a 2-hour, 16-minute runtime, they were able to do so much with these characters. Like, literally so much, and it was fantastic. But yeah, the use of watercolor for Gwen's world was just, oh my god, I love that. Like, the animation for that was just incredible. And I was so surprised that we got, like, the first 30 or maybe, like, 20 minutes of the movie dedicated to Gwen's storyline and how she, like, joined the Spider Society. And by the time you know it, we're entering the opening credits, and we've gotten a very long scene, and then we get the opening credits. It's just really weird. But I love that we've grown to know these characters in Gwen's universe. We had no idea really what she was about in the first film, but now we do. And I like the dynamic between her and her dad, and it's just, I think she's got a really cool universe, and honestly, I wouldn't even mind like a spin-off movie of hers. That would be really cool. A spin-off movie of literally anyone in this film would be great. I hope they make a lot of spin-offs. And Miles himself is great, like I said. He's got a very interesting storyline, and probably was my favorite part of the movie, although Spider-Gwen was really great in it too. Everything was just fantastic. And the cameos. Oh my god, the cameos. You got PS4 Spider-Man. I think it only lasted for like 4 seconds when you know it on screen, but it was really cool to see him in this movie. You also got technically Toby and Andrew. I mean, they're in the movie, but it's like scenes from their past films. But it was cool to see them acknowledge those events. And then what else? You got Scarlet Spider, which was like really entertaining. I liked every single second he was on screen. There's so many Spider people. The Spider Horse was really great too. Spider T-Rex, that was great. Spider Cat also. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, there's so many characters in this film. Lego Spider-Man. How could I forget about that? I was so impressed to hear that a 14-year-old was the person that animated those scenes, and he actually has his own YouTube channel. I don't know it off the top of my head, but sorry, a lot of Peach Fanta. But he has his own YouTube channel, and if you know it, keep watching it, keep supporting the channel, because that guy's great. Lego animation is just fantastic. I love it when people recreate like trailers and scenes from movies, but I just thought it was so cool that he's 14 years old and is doing something that a lot of adults haven't even accomplished. Like, that's crazy. And shout out to him. He killed it. Like, the animation for the Lego scene was just great, and it looked like he'd been doing this his whole life. That was fantastic. And what else? Oh, well, we can't forget about the Prowler. Donald Glover's the Prowler. That was amazing to see. If you guys don't know, he did play Aaron Davis in Spider-Man Homecoming. There was even a deleted scene of him saying, "Miles, I'm not going to make it." So he is Uncle Aaron in the MCU. So to get a reveal that he actually ended up being Prowler or something was just Oh my god, it was crazy. It was so cool to see him. He wasn't in it for that long, but it was really cool to see live action in animated movie. That was just so incredible. I fucking loved it. Across the Spider-Verse was fantastic all in all, and y'all know I'm not going to leave without talking about the ending. The ending I really liked, and I know a lot of people would have been disappointed that it was just like kind of a part one, but I don't really see it as that, like it's got its own ending. Like there was never a moment to me where I was like, oh, this is going to end a big final battle. I felt like the whole time that there was so much going on. Like there was too much going on for them to just end up beating Spot in the end. Like I knew that it would have to be resolved in another movie. Like Spot couldn't have just been stopped right away. So in the end we get Miles seeing himself but as a Prowler, which on Earth 42 is what should have happened. And Spot created a radioactive spider from that universe, and it went to another universe and bit Miles in the universe we now know today as his universe. So it was really confusing, but it was really fun to see when he realized that he was in the wrong universe. It was just crazy, especially seeing Miles take off the mask and revealing that he is the Prowler. Like it was crazy. It was also cool seeing Uncle Aaron again. I think the same voice actor did him, but I know for a fact that the two Miles at the end of the movie were not the same person. They were actually completely different people. And Gwen talking to Miles' parents was really cool too. It was really cool to see that and saying like he loves you. And then Miguel's mom was like, now he's grounded for 5 months, which was really hilarious. His parents are great in this. Like, they didn't get that much time to shine in Into the Spider-Verse, but in this one they had a lot more screen time, and it was really cool to see them kind of fleshing out their characters a lot more. And I also, like I said, it's great that this didn't end in a final battle. Like, I was glad that it was like just like you wanted to see more instead of like being like, all right, I think it's time for it to end. Like I think a perfect example is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Like I had really enjoyed that movie up until the point where the final battle started to begin, and then even when I was in the theater, and I'm usually blind to liking movies instantly, I was like, all right, let's wrap it up. Like this final battle's going on for too long, but not with this one. It had a really, really cool ending. Gwen starts like a new Spider-Man league, and it was really cool to see. And you guys probably could have expected this, but I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. Now, like I said at the beginning, I do not know whether Across the Spider-Verse is better than this movie. I have no idea. It is so close. And like I said, they're completely different movies. Maybe not completely, but they're very different from one another. It's tough, but all I know is that Across the Spider-Verse better win Best Animated Picture. Like, it really should. Like, I don't want it to... I don't want another movie to. I think Across the Spider-Verse should definitely win. And it's not even just an animated movie. It's one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. But maybe I'll have to watch it again for me to actually say that. But I really liked it. I'd say for my 3 favorite movies of the year, in third place there'd be Air. The movie about the Air Jordan shoes. Really good movie. Second place, it would be Across the Spider-Verse. First place, Guardians. And I love Across the Spider-Verse, okay? I'm not going to hate on that movie. I fucking love it. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. It's probably even better than Into the Spider-Verse. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I've been waiting for such a long time to see that film. And it's a very tough movie to beat. But I still really love this movie and Across the Spider-Verse. They're both fantastic, and I was blown away by this film. So make sure to subscribe. If you guys want more review videos, let me know, because I actually like doing this. I'm happy to come out of movie review retirement for you guys. Peace.